Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in this video I'll be doing my predictions for AEW Double or Nothing. In a match that I would probably have start the card, I have Konosuke Takeshita defeating Jon Moxley in the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match, meaning that Takeshita will get a title shot for the IWGP Championship whenever and whoever is champion. They keep suggesting that Moxley might lose it to. But yeah, for me, I feel like this is going to be like a really hard-hitting match, probably one of the better matches of the night overall. It's a match I'm very much looking forward to. I don't think I've seen a bad Takeshita match since he turned heel, so yeah, definitely something I look forward to. Jon Moxley's arguably my favourite wrestler on the roster, so yeah, for me this has the potential of being like a match of the year candidate, really. But as a storyline, it kind of feels very thrown together. I know that Takeshita just said he wanted the title, then they made the Eliminator, and then they kind of had a small interaction. But I feel like that's all this storyline really needs. You know, you got two guys, you just want to beat the crap out of each other, and they want the IWGP World Championship, so why not have them go at it? But yeah, same. For me, just because it's an eliminator match and not for the championship, it makes the most sense to have Takeshita get the win here, and then he will have his title match on a New Japan show further down the line. But yeah, so I think it's be a really good way to open the show, just as far as match quality goes. And yeah, I think Takeshita will earn himself a title match down the road. After that, we have Chris Jericho defending the For the World Championship, or the FTW Championship, against Hook and Shibata in what I assume will be FTW rules. And for me, I'm going to go with Chris Jericho, and his character at the minute has been working perfectly because I cannot stand him at the minute. I don't like this learning tree bit, I don't like the fact he got rid of Judas, and just everything about it sucks, which makes him like the perfect heel overall, really. So for me, I would be having Hook beat Jericho for the FTW Championship in a one-on-one match. Therefore, I think Chris Jericho is probably going to pin Shibata to get the win here in some kind of shenanigans way where Hook can't do anything about it, and he just gets Hook himself just gets so frustrated that, I don't know, he picks up the announce table and throws it at a local child or something. I don't know, but for me, I feel like it's just going to be a match full of, it's going to be absolutely carnage, but Chris Jericho is going to steal a win somehow, and then he's going to add to the intensity between him and Hook. And I don't know, maybe on a special Dynamite or something between now and Forbidden Door, we have Hook defeat Chris Jericho again and become the new FTW Championship, as I can't see this lasting for too much longer. But when Jericho does get a comeuppance via Hook, it's going to be a very good moment, because I bloody hate Chris Jericho at the minute, but I think he is going to retain the FTW Championship here. First up, we have the Bam Bam Gang defending the Unified Trios Championships against Death Triangle, or at least I assume they'll be defending the titles, as it's currently Friday afternoon, so the Lucha Bros and the Guns match hasn't happened yet, but I assume the Lucha Bros will win to make it a title match. But for the match itself, it's going to be a really, really good match. I don't think I've seen a bad Death Triangle match, so that's something I'm very looking forward to. For me, I'm a very big fan of the Bam Bam Gang, and it's something I very much enjoyed, though, like everyone else, the promo on Dynamite this week was ass. But yeah, I think for me, I'm going to go with the Bam Bam Gang to retain, just because they've only just unified the championships and Death Triangle have only just come back together. So for me, it doesn't really make much sense for Death Triangle to be taking the titles from them immediately. Maybe if they lose this match, but then a bit later down the road, the Death Triangle can come back and win the titles later on. So they are the first champion. Well, not the first, second, but kind of felt like first. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very enjoyable match. I expected Jay White to probably have a bigger role on the card by this point in the company, but this is absolutely fine. And yeah, it's just a match I'm very much looking forward to. I feel like it's going to be action-packed throughout, and yeah, just a really good way to showcase the trios division in AEW. But for me, yeah, as I've said, I've got the Bam Bam Gang to retain here. Next up, we have Roderick Strong defending the International Championship against Will Ospreay, and for me this is kind of more a head over heart type thing. I would love to see Will Ospreay with a championship in AEW, but the International Championship is not the one I had in mind. I feel like Will Ospreay didn't need to have an International Championship match, and he could have had a match with somebody else in just a singles match on the Double or Nothing card. But for me, everything it's not in my idea, it's just that I feel like everything leads to him having a world title match at All In. So having him be the international champion going into that, I don't think makes much sense, because it means that they then have a champion versus champion type thing. I don't think they need to do that. WWE have just proved that by having Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes go at it at King of the Ring. So I don't know, for me, I feel like Roderick's going to get the win, but it's going to be through a absolute ton of shenanigans. We may even see Adam Cole show up maybe and try and help him. But for me, I don't want to have Ospreay as international champion and go into All In for the World Championship. So I will probably have him win here. As I said, a load of shenanigans, have it not be clean at all, and then there'll be one blemish on Ospreay's record, and it'll be to Roderick Strong. Unfortunately, I think it would then help put him into the main event scene come August. So yeah, as I said, as much as I feel like this is going to be probably one of the better matches of the card, like I said, in the Moxley and Takeshita thing, but yeah, I just can't see Roderick Strong not losing here, because I can't see Will Ospreay as becoming the international champion. So I'm going with Roderick Strong. As much as I want to see Will Ospreay with championship in AEW, I'd much rather wait for a bit and then watch him go on to become world champion at All In. So yeah, for me, it's Roderick Strong, unfortunately. Following that, we have Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Serena Deeb in a match that I cannot see Toni Storm losing under any circumstance. Nothing against Serena Deeb, I just don't see her as a challenger to Toni at all. And there was a match a few years ago between Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing for the World Championship, and pretty sure I fell asleep during that one, to be fair. I ended up watching it back to do a review. Well, I don't know if I was even doing it, but either way. Yeah, for me, I just find Serena Deeb so tedious to watch wrestle and things like that. I know she's good at wrestling, just her style just isn't my kind of thing. But also not because of the bias, because I don't like Serena Deeb, but Toni Storm is red hot. Like, you would be very silly to have Toni Storm's first loss in what feels like a year come from Serena Deeb. It makes no sense. There'd be a bigger build-up. It would feel like the title is under more jeopardy if they're going to have her be the first woman to defeat Toni Storm under this gimmick. But yeah, for me, that's just not happening, pretty simply. I think there'll be a bigger build. I think it'll be a bigger opponent as well. I assume maybe at Forbidden Door we have the Toni Storm versus the lady who I can't remember the name of from Stardom, who is also associated with Mariah May, and maybe that's the world title match for them, and that makes way more sense than this feud. Also, yeah, for me, I had Toni Storm 100% retaining her championship here and going on just for the rest of the year as champion, because I don't feel like there's anyone on the roster right now who can defeat Toni Storm under this gimmick with this red hot, other than one person, who is Jamie Hayter, and I am just waiting for the moment that her music hits and she returns. Every pay-per-view I want it, the one that she returns at, but for me, I think it makes almost the most sense to have her return at Forbidden Door, challenge Toni at All In, because it's Jamie Hayes from Southampton, so it makes way more sense to do that there. But either way, this match I think is going to be great, but unfortunately, just because of my dislike for Serena Deeb and the fact that I definitely do not think that Toni Storm is losing here, Toni Storm is definitely retaining here 100%. Following that, we have the straight up wrestling match between Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy, and for me, it makes the most sense whether it stays as a singles match or whether it changes to a no DQ match or something. For me, it makes the most sense for Trent to be getting the win here. He needs to establish himself as a heel and as a singles guy, and I feel like a good way to do that is to be defeating Orange Cassidy. And yeah, I don't know, I didn't really got much else to say than that one. It wouldn't help Trent at all if Orange got the win here, just because, Trent trying to establish himself as a dominant heel, then, losing to Orange on the first pay-per-view as him as a heel isn't going to be the right thing. I feel like Don Callis is going to get involved in some way, shape or form. For me, I've assumed that though Callis has been helping Orange Trent will be the one that joins the Don Callis family overall, probably, and Callis will probably help Trent get the win, which again makes perfect sense. You know, a really good way for a new heel to get heat is to align himself with Don Callis. So yeah, that for me makes the number one most sense, and if that happens, I'll be pretty happy, to be fair. Like, I'm not overly invested in Trent. I'm not really that bothered about Trent. I don't have that much interest, but you know, if I might be more invested once he's established himself more as a heel, as I've said. So yeah, for me, Trent Beretta to defeat Orange Cassidy. Following that, we had Adam Copeland defending the TNT Championship against Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage. And for me, I am going heart over head with this one, and I'm going for Malachi Black to become the new TNT Champion. Basically because Adam Copeland doesn't necessarily need the TNT Championship, and he should be using whoever defeats him for the championship to elevate them up the card, to elevate them in general. But someone who needs elevating right now is Malachi Black and the House of Black, as they have been criminally misused over the past year since they lost the Trios Championships at All In. And for me, it just makes the most sense for Adam Copeland to lose the championship here. It then elevates the stock in Malachi Black. It's a championship that's more than well overdue for Malachi Black, as he's just so freaking good. And also it helps the House of Black kind of become that more dominant force again in the division, the way they should be. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, I can also see why they would have Adam Copeland win here, the whole wedding ring thing and all that stuff, but I feel like that could be played over a few pay-per-views, or at least, you know, over the next few weeks on Dynamite / Collision. But yeah, I feel like, you know, for me, it just makes way more sense for Malachi Black to get the win here than have Adam Copeland. Copeland doesn't need the championship. He could be having a feud with anybody and not have a championship, and it will still be worth a lot. So for me, it will help the championship, it'll help Malachi Black, and I think Adam Copeland would be helping, you know, people before him or after him, like career-wise, if he like does do the job for people who need the win, like Malachi Black. So yeah, for me, I want Malachi Black to become the new TNT champion. Following that, we have Willow Nightingale defending the TBS Championship against Mercedes Moné in what will be the easiest match of the night to predict, because Mercedes Moné will win and become the new TBS champion. It's very, very simple. I predicted this back at Dynasty in the review for that, when I said when Willow won the title that she would be facing Mercedes Moné and that she would definitely lose and definitely be a transitional champion. And I am absolutely sticking by them guns. I think it's so stupid, the fact that we have a ranking system that they want us to take seriously, and then as soon as Mercedes Moné comes in, she just gets given a title shot. She hasn't wrestled, the promos are crap, everything about her is annoying, her theme song is... oh, don't get me started on the theme song, I hate her theme song so much. And therefore, she's going to get the win, because, you know, it's just the star power, it's the big name deal of Mercedes Moné, and it's going to be another highly established former WWE woman coming in and winning championships. We're going to be in a situation again where women's division is run by former WWE women, and Mercedes Moné has not earned anything in AEW, and yet she's going to win a championship in her first match, and it's going to be fucking horrible, and I'm going to boo, and I'm going to hate it. And I'm going to boo her in London when I go down to All In. And it's so annoying that this has happened, and then they do a ranking system that they want us to take seriously. Like, Mercedes hasn't wrestled once, and yet she said it's where the best wrestle, and she hasn't wrestled. She made herself look a right prick. So, either way, I feel sorry for Willow, because she deserves way more than this. And I'll be shocked if she walks away on Sunday with the TBS Championship. But, you know, I feel like Willow is the better wrestler between the two at the minute. Like, from what I've seen from Mercedes Moné, like, she's alright, but I think Willow's on an absolute tear at the minute. So, as I said, for me, Willow is the winner if everything in the world made sense, because it doesn't. Mercedes Moné is going to win because of her star power and name, which shouldn't be a reason for winning the championship. It should be in-ring quality and everything that comes with it. So, yeah, unfortunately, I've got Mercedes Moné to become. Following that, we have Swerve Strickland defending the World the World Championship against Christian Cage. And man, when Christian Cage was announced as the number one contender, I popped like fuck. I love Christian Cage. Everything about him is great. His heel character is probably one of the best things in wrestling right now. But as much as I want him to win, he's not going to. Swerve's going to retain here. I feel like it makes the most sense. You know, I've been praying for Swerve versus Ospreay at All In, and obviously that doesn't happen if Christian Cage gets the win here. So I feel like it's going to be a very good match. It's going to be kind of the tactical side of Christian Cage versus probably the more emotional but more savage side of Swerve Strickland, and it's going to work really well. I feel like there's going to be some leniency from the referee, and there's blood and a ton of interference that Swerve will then overcome to be able to defeat Christian Cage and retain the championship. But yeah, as I say, it's a match I'm very much looking forward to. It's a dream match I didn't even know I wanted, but now I'm getting it. I'm very, very happy. But for me, it just makes the most sense to have Swerve continue his reign here, but defeating an established guy and probably one of the best heels in the company, because of course it makes the most sense to have the biggest babyface in Swerve take on the biggest heel in Christian on the biggest show of the year. So yeah, for me, it makes the most sense to have Swerve versus Christian, but Strickland is going to retain the championship here. 100%. And in what I assume will be the main event, we have the Elite taking on Team AEW, which is Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin and FTR, in a Anarchy in the Arena match. These matches classically do end pay-per-views or the Stadium Stampede matches, especially for Double or Nothing. But for me, I feel like he's going to go on last just because they've been main eventing every Dynamite since the kind of the beginning of the storyline. And yeah, I think for me, it makes the most sense for the Elite to start with the win here and kind of have this feud kind of go throughout probably the rest of the year, maybe finish it off at Revolution or maybe at World's End. But for me, it just makes way more sense for the Elite. As I said, the story's only just begun. The Elite need to establish themselves as like the most dominant force on AEW television, and that doesn't happen by having them lose to the babyface team immediately. Also, Darby Allin's like nowhere near 100%, so they're going to probably target him the most. He's probably going to do a crazy bump that he shouldn't be doing, and I think if anyone's in this match to take the pin, it's going to be Darby Allin, just because Danielson's obviously on his retirement tour, so he'll want kind of these big matches, but not necessarily to lose them all. And then you've got FTR, who kind of want to be protected as they're probably going to be next in line for a tag title shot, or at least they might be the next tag team champions. So yeah, for me, just from a storyline basis, I feel like Tony Khan returned too early. I probably would have had him return at Double or Nothing, or maybe even later on than that. But I said the story's been enjoyable. I like the way they're doing stuff, and the fact they brought back Kenny Omega for it as well. And I think the match itself is going to be absolutely insane. Anarchy in the Arena is probably one of the better stipulations that I like in AEW, just because of the whole blood violence, all that good stuff that I like. But yeah, so for me, I have the Elite to get the win here just to carry the storyline going on, probably till about the end of the year maybe, or just the long-term storyline starts here at Double or Nothing with the Elite getting the win. So those are my predictions for AEW Double or Nothing. Do put in the comments down below who is going to win, what your match of the night's going to be, if there's going to be any returns or debuts, anything like that. But yeah, I feel like the show itself is really solid. Like at the minute, there's only 10 matches as of Friday afternoon. I assume there'll probably be 3 matches added to the 0 hour. But yeah, I feel like I'm very much looking forward to the show. Malachi versus Copeland in a steel cage would be great. Moxley and Takeshita, Ospreay and Strong, Storm and Deeb. You know, all very solid matches to get matches of the night. And yeah, I think it's going to be just a really enjoyable show from start to finish. There's nothing on the show that really doesn't take my interest other than Jericho looking Shibata, just because I don't like Jericho and I know he's going to win. But yeah, so, you know, if you're watching this weekend, I hope you all enjoy it. But I will thank you for watching the video. I'll ask you to like and subscribe and share and comment and follow the Instagram, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.